Before we begin, if you haven't watched part 1, stop this video right now because what you're about to hear won't make sense without it. The link to part 1 is in the description and the pinned comment. Go watch it first. Then come back, and for those of you who did, you already know how 6 friends checked into the mysterious Grand Cedar Hotel, a hotel that didn't exist on any map, a place where every road led back to the same entrance, where windows showed different weather, where an old photograph somehow showed faces that looked exactly like theirs, and where their own names appeared inside a guest book before they had even signed it. You also know how Daniel disappeared in complete darkness, leaving behind nothing except an ice-cold room key. But believe me, everything you've heard so far was only the beginning, because the real nightmare started the moment the elevator doors opened. This is Tales of the Dark. None of us moved. The elevator stood open in complete silence. The warm golden light inside looked inviting, almost comforting, but after everything we had already seen, none of us trusted it. Ryan looked at the receptionist. What happens if we don't get in? She lowered her eyes. You'll stay. For how long? She didn't answer. Instead, she slowly walked behind the reception desk, picked up a silver bell, and rang it once. The sound echoed through the entire hotel, somewhere far above us. Another bell answered, then another, then another. It sounded as if every floor had heard her signal. Mia grabbed my arm. Ethan, we have to leave. I know, but how? Nobody had an answer. Olivia suddenly looked toward the staircase. Forget the elevator. We'll use the stairs. It made sense. We had ignored them because the elevator kept demanding our attention without another word. The 5 of us ran toward the stairwell. The heavy fire door slammed behind us. Immediately, the lobby became silent. Too silent. The concrete staircase stretched upward and downward. One side marked level 4, the other level 2. Nothing unusual. Ryan sighed with relief. Finally, a normal staircase. We climbed upward. 1 floor, 2 floors, 3 floors. Each landing looked identical. Grey walls, emergency lights, concrete steps. Nothing strange. Then Sophie stopped. Wait, she pointed toward the wall. The sign beside the landing now read, Level 4. Ryan frowned. Didn't we just leave level 4? Daniel wasn't there anymore to argue, to explain, to laugh it off. The silence made everything worse. We counted 3 floors. Olivia whispered, so why are we still here? Ryan ignored the sign. Keep climbing. We climbed again. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15. Every landing, level 4, every door locked, every hallway silent. Eventually Ryan punched the wall. This isn't possible. His voice echoed downward. Then something answered, not words. A fist hitting another wall. Exactly 3 seconds later, bang, everyone froze. Ryan slowly looked down the staircase. Nobody. He hit the wall again. Bang, 3 seconds later. Bang this time. From above us, Olivia whispered, something is copying us. Nobody moved. Ryan forced himself to smile. It's just echoes. Then Sophie dropped her flashlight. The metal flashlight bounced down the stairs. Clang, clang, clang. We watched it fall. It never stopped. The sound continued, getting farther away for nearly 30 seconds, until silence. There was no way a staircase inside a 4-story hotel could be that deep. Ryan swallowed hard. I'm not going down there. Neither was I. We turned around, started descending instead. 5 minutes later, the same sign greeted us, level 4. Mia quietly began crying. We are trapped. Nobody disagreed. Then a door opened, not ours, one of the fire doors, very slowly. Warm yellow light spilled onto the stairs. Someone stepped out, an elderly man, grey suit, perfectly clean. He looked at us as if we had interrupted his evening walk. Ryan immediately spoke. Sir, can you help us? The man looked genuinely confused. Help you, please. We can't find the exit. The old man looked toward the staircase, then back at Ryan. Oh, you made the same mistake. What mistake? You kept moving. None of us understood. He smiled politely. Never keep moving. Then he calmly walked back through the fire door. It closed. Ryan rushed after him. He threw the door open. The hallway beyond was empty. No man, no footsteps, nothing. Only a long corridor. Room doors stretched into the distance. Ryan looked back at us. We're done hiding. We search every room. It wasn't a good idea. But standing still felt worse. The hallway looked almost identical to the third floor, except every room number had changed. 401, 402, 403, 404, 405, 417. There was no 406, no 407, no 408, just gaps, as if certain rooms had been erased. Ryan reached for room 401, locked. 402. Locked. 403, locked. Then, room 404 slowly opened by itself. The room assigned to Daniel. Nobody wanted to go inside, but nobody wanted to stay outside either. Ryan entered first. The room looked untouched, the bed perfectly made, the television quietly playing static. A suitcase sat beside the bed, Daniel's suitcase, exactly where he'd left it. Olivia slowly opened it. Every piece of clothing remained inside. His passport, wallet, phone, charger, everything except his phone. Sophie noticed something on the bedside table, a framed photograph, Daniel standing beside the receptionist. Both smiling. Behind them, a Christmas tree. Ryan frowned. This wasn't taken yesterday. The date printed on the corner read, December 24, 1998. Daniel had been born in 1996. He would have been 2 years old, yet the man in the photograph looked exactly as he had yesterday, 29 years old. Olivia quietly placed the frame back. I'm starting to think the hotel doesn't care about time. Nobody argued. Then, the television changed. The static disappeared. Security camera footage filled the screen. The hotel lobby empty. Then, the front doors opened. 6 people walked inside, us, exactly 24 hours earlier. We watched ourselves talking to the receptionist, taking our room keys, walking toward the elevator. Ryan leaned closer. Wait, there are 7. He was right, standing behind us. Barely visible near the entrance was another person, completely still, watching us check in. Their face remained hidden in shadow. None of us remembered seeing them. The footage continued. The mysterious figure never moved, never blinked, simply watched until the camera suddenly turned toward us. Not the people on the screen, us, standing inside room 404, as if whoever controlled the camera knew we were watching. The screen went black. One sentence appeared, "Welcome back." Then, a loud knock echoed from inside the wardrobe. Once, twice, 3 times. None of us had touched it. The wardrobe door slowly began opening. The wardrobe door creaked open. Inch by inch, nobody breathed. Ryan slowly raised the flashlight. The beam settled inside, empty, just neatly folded hotel robes, wooden hangers, nothing else. Ryan let out a nervous laugh. We are losing it. Then, a phone vibrated, not one of ours. It came from inside the wardrobe. Olivia carefully reached in. Hidden beneath the robes was Daniel's phone. The screen was cracked. The battery was almost dead. One unread voice message, recorded, 3 minutes in the future. None of us spoke. Ryan pressed play. Static filled the room. Then Daniel's voice, "If you're hearing this, don't go to your rooms. The hotel isn't trying to trap us. It's trying to replace us." Another voice interrupted him. His own voice, "Daniel, open the door, we're waiting." Daniel shouted, "That's not me, don't listen." The recording ended. Nobody moved. Then every phone in our pockets vibrated. A new notification, no signal, no internet. Yet each phone displayed the same message. Check-in time, 11:47 p.m. Current guests, 5 vacancies. 1 Sophie whispered, 5. There were 6 of us. Ryan slowly looked around. Daniel was no longer counted. The hotel had already accepted him. Suddenly, the hallway lights outside flickered. Footsteps, slow, heavy, coming toward room 404. Ryan quietly closed the door. The footsteps stopped outside. 3 knocks, exactly like before. Nobody answered. A calm voice came from the hallway. "Ethan." It sounded exactly like me. Mia looked at me in horror. The voice spoke again. "You can come out now. We found the exit." Ryan slowly backed away from the door. "No, that's not him." The handle slowly turned, not quickly, patiently, like whoever stood outside knew we couldn't leave forever. Olivia looked toward the window. "Can we climb?" Ryan pulled back the curtain. There was no forest, no parking lot, only another hotel hallway, dozens of doors stretching forever. Sophie started crying again. "There isn't an outside." The knocking stopped, silence, then footsteps walking away. Ryan counted to 30. Carefully opened the door. The hallway was empty except fresh, wet footprints. They led toward the elevator, 5 sets, not 1, 5, as if every one of us had walked there. Ryan looked at his own shoes, dry. The footprints weren't ours, but they matched us. The elevator doors stood open. The panel glowed softly for the first time. There were actual floor numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 15. Nobody spoke. Mia frowned. There wasn't a 15th floor. Ryan looked at the receptionist who had somehow appeared at the end of the corridor. She simply nodded. It's ready. No one asked what she meant. The elevator doors began closing by themselves. Just before they shut, a hand reached out from inside. It wasn't trying to escape. It was holding the doors open. The hand looked exactly like Ethan's. Mine. The doors opened again. Standing inside was me. Same clothes, same backpack, same cut on my left hand from earlier that morning. He smiled. I finally found the way out. Ryan stepped back. I couldn't move. My double looked directly into my eyes. Then he said something only I should have known. The compass Dad gave you. It's still inside your glove compartment. No one else knew about that compass, not even Mia. He knew. Because he was me, he stepped out of the elevator. I instinctively stepped backward. He smiled sadly. I know you're confused. I was too. Ryan shouted, don't listen to him. My double ignored him. The hotel doesn't create copies, it creates choices. One version leaves. One version stays. You decide which one. Before I could answer, the lights exploded. Glass rained from every ceiling fixture. Darkness swallowed the hallway. Then, every emergency light switched on. Everything glowed deep red. An alarm echoed through the hotel. Not a fire alarm, a hotel announcement. A calm woman's voice. Attention guests, checkout begins in 10 minutes. Please proceed to the lobby. Failure to check out will result in permanent residency. The announcement repeated again and again. Ryan grabbed my arm. We're going. All 5 of us ran. The hallways no longer looked familiar. Room numbers changed as we passed. 401 became 219. 219 became 603. Doors appeared where walls had been seconds earlier. Paintings changed. Mirrors reflected empty corridors behind us. Not us, just empty hallways. We finally burst into the lobby. The receptionist was waiting. The guest book lay open. Only one blank line remained. She looked at me. You understand now? I shook my head. No, I don't, she sighed. The hotel doesn't hunt people. It waits for someone willing to stay. Ryan shouted, nobody's staying. The receptionist looked at him with genuine sympathy. Someone already has. She pointed toward the staircase. Slow footsteps echoed from above. 1, 2, 3. A figure descended. It was Daniel. He looked unharmed. He smiled. I'm okay. Ryan rushed toward him. Daniel raised one hand. Don't. His voice was calm, too calm. I remember everything now. This place isn't a prison. It's a crossroads. You can leave, but someone has to keep the doors open. Ryan stared at him. What are you talking about? Daniel looked at each of us, then smiled. I volunteered. Silence. Number, Sophie whispered. Daniel nodded. If nobody stays, the hotel never closes, and more people get trapped. The receptionist closed her eyes. He chose. Daniel walked over to the guest book. He picked up the pen, signed beside his name. The word beside it slowly changed. Checked out. The hotel shook violently. Every wall groaned. The front doors burst open. For the first time, we could see the forest, the real forest, moonlight. Our 2 vehicles, the road. Ryan looked back. Daniel smiled one last time. Go. Nobody wanted to, but he shouted. Go. We ran. The moment we crossed the entrance, a deafening roar echoed behind us. The ground trembled. I turned around. The hotel lights went dark, 1 floor at a time. 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 1st, then nothing. The building slowly disappeared into the fog as if it had never existed. Police searched the area for 3 days. No hotel, no foundations, no road, nothing. They assumed Daniel had wandered into the forest. A massive search operation found no trace of him. Weeks became months. Eventually, life tried to return to normal. None of us spoke publicly about what happened. Who would believe us? 8 months later, I was flying home from a photography assignment. My flight was delayed because of heavy rain. The airline booked every stranded passenger into a nearby airport hotel. I checked in. The young receptionist smiled politely. "Welcome, Mr. Carter." She handed me a room key. Room 304, I froze. "My old room," I forced myself to laugh. "Do you have another room?" She nodded. "Of course." She looked down at her computer, paused, then smiled again. "I'm sorry. There has been a small change." She handed me another key, brass, not plastic. Stamped with one number, 417. The same room number the Grand Cedar Hotel had given me. I looked up. The receptionist was gone, standing behind the desk. Was the woman from the Grand Cedar Hotel. She smiled exactly as she had that first night. Then she quietly said, "Welcome back." That was the end of this story. If you've ever experienced something you still can't explain, or you have a strange story of your own, send it to Tales of the Dark, your story. It could become the next nightmare featured on this channel. And if you're new here, subscribe to Tales of the Dark, because here, every story leaves you questioning what might be waiting in the dark. Until next time, sleep well if you can.